here's how this sucker works. Ryan Horvat, folks, he's still growing. He was gone for a few days, but didn't stop sprouting up. Again, he's over 10 feet tall. He's like 10'6" right now. So we're going to, get him out there at center court. They're going to throw up the ball. He's going to win the tip. I think that's an automatic. That's the L word. That's a G word. That's easy money. There's no doubt about it. So you might want to bet on that. And then he's going to secure the rock. He's going to throw it up the floor to his man who's sprinting down the court, who's going to grab it and get an easy two. So hopefully we're going to start things off on the right foot. So Ryan's going to give you his first play. And Hoop Scoops is going to give you the reasons behind said play. And then it's done. Kenny's working the board here on BetMGM Tonight. He's going to go, hey, Kenny, hit me with the hoops. And then Kenny's going to drop a little basketball, maybe famous call, maybe it's a video game reference. That'll be my cue then to do the same thing and run with it. And we're going to try to squeeze in as many bets as we possibly can here in this segment. Again, there's no show on the planet that I'm aware of that gives you more bets nightly than right here on BetMGM Tonight. So, Ryan, what is your first Hoop Scoop?
Oh, and thank God we got the NBA back because I got to stop betting these unders in the hockey games. 1-0 Florida. And they're still on the power play. But we move on. Isiah Hartenstein. Let's go to that market, right? I'm not going to touch the rebounds. He let me down last night. I played over 7.5. I believe he finished with 3. But what I'm going to do is take an under, actually. Not on the boards, not on the points, but on the assist market, man. Isiah Hartenstein, his assist number at BetMGM, over 1.5 is -145. The under is plus money at plus 105. That's the best price that I've seen. I'm going to lock it in right now. He's only went on over this number, I should say, 1.5 assists in 3 of 10 games here in the playoffs. Didn't have any in the last game, and I think the number stays where it's at, and it's a little overinflated, even though it's only 1.5 assists, because he had 4 in game 2. Last time he had more than 1.5 assists, though, was game 4 against the Wolves. So I'm going to go under 1.5 assists on Isiah Hartenstein. Weird bet, I know, but it's plus 105, and I like this one quite a bit. I don't understand this market. Kenny, hit me with the hoops.
Oh, my God!
All right, I'm just going to go to a simple bet here. Give me the Indiana Pacers to cover at plus 5.5. We had Alex Golden on from the Setting the Pace podcast earlier on the show. Go back and listen to that interview. If you missed any of his insights, it covers the Indiana Pacers on the BetMGM Tonight podcast. Download it. Subscribe to the BetMGM podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Alex is like, well, the OKC Thunder haven't lost back-to-back games in eternity, going back to 2024. It's been a minute, to say the least, but all streaks are made to be broken. I think the Pacers have a really good shot of winning yet again, going up 3-1 in this series. Again, I originally picked them in 6. Yes, I was one of those crazy persons, taking down and digesting all the crazy pills in the box. But I believe in this Indiana team because they just continue to find ways to survive. They don't die easily, and they're certainly not going to die easily on their home floor. So it could come down to the final possession. It could go, the other way. They don't win the game, but covering the 5.5, I think it's a foregone conclusion. So I'm going to do that. I did that this morning at BetMGM at a -102 juice. OKC is number 2 in net efficiency in this NBA playoffs. Yes, they're number 1 in defensive rating, but they're only number 4 now in offensive rating. Indiana number 2 in offensive rating, though a lackluster number 9 in defensive rating. You look at obviously the series. It's breaking Indiana's way, except for game 2. They got waxed. They lost that one 123-107 on the road. Caitlin Clark's got to be in the house. And when Caitlin Clark is in the house, they don't lose. They're 8-0. So she just inspires that team. And with her talents, just, kind of sending the wavelengths through the air kinetically in some way. And they somehow, some way get it done. And you look at OKC, they're 2-8 ATS on the road in their last 10 matchups here in this NBA postseason. So put all together, give me the Pacers who again punish the sports books plus 5.5 for Indiana at a -102 juice. Kenny, hit me with the hoops.
some major onions.
Oh, I missed that voice. Let's go with a player prop, and this is a late ad. We like to call this an audible in the biz, a little Omaha. So we talked with Alex Golden. Great interview, by the way. Check out the podcast. Like, subscribe, review, rate. Maybe leave a comment like, hey, Horvat deserves a big raise. Or, hey, Odyssey, at least get him front row tickets for Madison Square Garden when Goose comes to town, or something like that. I don't know. Just show us some love, damn it, because like you said, nobody gives out more bets than this show. Miles Turner is Alex Golden's pick to click. He's now Ryan Horvat's pick to click. Over 13.5 points. This market went from 15.5 down to 13.5. I think he scores at least 14. It is minus 120 right now at BetMGM, but I like this, man. Only had 9 points in that last game, but before that did have 16 and 15 in the first 2 games of the series. He's went over this number in 5 of the last 10 playoff games. I agree. I think Miles Turner at least has to score 16 to 17 for the Pacers to be live in this game. So let's go with him over 13.5, minus 120 tomorrow night. Kenny, hit me with the hoops, brother.
Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
Curry!
Oh, yeah, little Steph Curry shout out there. Like that one quite a bit. All right, we heard the Toppin highlight on the rejoiner, so let's work in his name here on the same game parlay. And this is a bet I just continuously cash on because it's hit 3 straight contests here in the NBA Finals. Like numero uno, Toppin. 5 or more rebounds in like numero dos. TJ McConnell, one of the heroes of game 3. All I need is 3 or more assists. And that shakes out to a cool plus 115 there at BetMGM. OKC, where they're weak. It's defending the glass. Number 2, an opponent rebounds per game in this NBA postseason, giving up 45.5 in that category. However, they have allowed the 6th fewest opponent assists per game at 21.9. Toppin still 5, 5, and 6 in rebounds. McConnell 5, 6, and 4 in assists. I love this play. Same gamer. Obi Toppin 5 more boards. CJ McConnell 3 more assists. Plus 115 at BetMGM. Kenny, hit me with the hoops at PCA. Just went yard.
Legend.
Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life.
PCA with no regard for that baseball. Benedict Mathurin under 11.5 points. When some zig, we zag. The market's never been higher. Actually, it hasn't really changed. But anyway, he had 27. Game before that, which would be, Jesus, where are we? Game 2, he had 14. But before that, he only scored 12 points in 4 of 10 playoff games, man. So he's too streaky for me to trust to go off again, meaning he'll score 40 tomorrow. But Benedict Mathurin under 11.5 points, minus 105. Kenny, hit me with the hoops one last time.
A kiss to be remembered, potentially.